The British Museum faces testing times following the scandalous theft of artefacts last year. The demands to return parts of its collection, most notably the Elgin marbles, and a proposed £1 billion redevelopment of its building. To lead it through these challenges, it has appointed a new director. Nicholas Cullinan currently directs the National Portrait Gallery. Is he the right choice? To answer that, I'm joined by archaeologist Mario Trabucco Della Torretta. Mario, it's lovely to talk to you again. Now, where should we start? Let's start with the £1 billion redevelopment that the British Museum has to undertake. That is a very big management project. Nicholas Cullinan had an important experience at the National Portrait Gallery. Does it equip him for the task?
On one side, obviously, this was the massive checkbox that every candidate needed to tick, that is having a substantial experience of a full renovation of a nationally significant collection like the National Portrait Gallery. But on the other side, if we need to look at the history of what he has done as a trace to interpret what he's going to do at the British Museum, I'm a little bit concerned because on one side, yes, obviously, the project was delivered on time, was delivered on budget. It was £41 million kind of project. And this obviously lets us have good hopes. On the other side, the project for the renovation of the British Museum is 20 times bigger. This obviously means also that this project is going to be delivered in significantly different conditions because the renovation of the National Portrait Gallery happened during COVID, so without actually having visitors in for most of the time. The British Museum is obviously not going to be shut down entirely like the MPG was. The other problems I can see is the way the renovation is going to be performed, the results that are going to be delivered. On one side, the MPG has delivered 20% more exhibition space, which is obviously something to be looked at favorably. But on the other side, there is a tinge of modernist sensibilities that can, in a way, taint this kind of result. For example, on the facade of the National Portrait Gallery, we have 16 roundels with British giants of the arts. And as part of the renovation, they've decided to kind of balance these by engaging Tracy Emin, the Royal Academician, to make 3 new bronze portals with roundels and figures of female artists or idolized figures. This was supposed to kind of balance the too male and stale kind of appearance of the National Portrait Gallery so far. They have worn as a mark of honor the fact that they have now brought the quantity, the share of female sitters in the hangings of the collection from 35% to 48%. So are we going to look at the renovation of the British Museum under this kind of light? That's where I'm a little bit more uneasy.
So you're really talking here about the degree to which he may be affected by wokery, political correctness, by agenda items which aren't strictly artistic or curatorial, at least in your opinion.
Correct.
And having identified that as the issue, the saving of a very important portrait by the National Portrait Gallery, yes. What did that tell us about Cullinan's attitudes and indeed methods?
It's an interesting story. We're talking about the portrait of Omai that has been recently added to the collection, only in part because it came with a price tag of £50 million, and this deal has been secured 50-50 paying with the Getty Museum in Los Angeles. So now, this is going to be a sort of timeshare, a joint possession of the item, which is a first in terms of an international joint possession. joint ownership, I should say, because right now we have already experience of items that are jointly owned, for example, from the National Gallery and the National Gallery of Scotland, or with Cardiff and other places, but it's always been in the UK. He needed to raise the £50 million that were needed to secure this painting, which in itself is also a story, because it was like it's not the most brilliant painting of Sir Joshua Reynolds. Is it because the sitter is kind of ticking the diversity and inclusion box that we really wanted this painting to enter the collection? Be as it may, he didn't manage to secure the £50 million. He struggled a lot to get to half of it, and only after the Ministry of Culture basically allowed a third consecutive, again, another first, extension of the ban, of the export ban that would potentially have brought the picture elsewhere in the world. This raises significant concerns, obviously, because it's going to need to raise, again, 20 times as much in terms of money, and for the renovation of the British Museum. And if this performance is what we need to kind of expect, this doesn't bode well, obviously. On the other side, even the joint ownership is a bit of a problem. In my opinion, in the opinion of people that know way more than I do about this, it raises way more problems than it actually solves. So it's like, did we really need to go to these lengths to secure these portraits? And if this is the model of financing, exactly, what's going to happen in the British Museum?
So just to explain to people, we've been talking about Nicholas Cullinan, who is transferring from the National Portrait Gallery to the British Museum. Thank you very much indeed, Mario Trabucco Della Torretta, and happy Easter to you, sir.